What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be focusing on the latest updates in Black Ops 6, a feature that's making everybody crash out, and some other surprise changes. Definitely stay tuned. Now in the background, we got some gameplay of Party Ops. We've played quite a bit of this on stream, of course. It's been fun with some open lobbies out there. Let me know how you're liking this game mode down below, but I don't suspect this mode is going to be live for too much longer. I mean, there's always a possibility it's live for the duration of Season 4 Reloaded, but I remember that TMNT Ooze event that was live for maybe 2 weeks tops back during the mid-season 2 update, so maybe this mode is going to be rotated out with the upcoming playlist update. I'll keep you guys in the loop about that one, but I did want to start off with something that did leak out following the launch of the mid-season, which may have actually been taken out of the game because nobody out there has figured this out yet. Apparently, there is a new Dark Ops challenge tied to the Party Ops LTM. Now, if you ask me, I'm not really opposed to seeing bonus Dark Ops added throughout the year for these limited time modes. Obviously, there's going to be FOMO taking effect where you're going to have a very limited window to actually unlock the Dark Ops. I don't think the Dark Ops should impact your 100%er though. I think it should just be an extra Dark Ops added to the game for the sake of replayability. But the challenge was, and I quote, Party King. Inside of Party Ops, place top 3 at least 5 different times. This was leaked by data miner Alix, but there isn't an image that is tied to this leak. So it's unclear what this calling card looks like. I don't believe it's in the game if you ask me. I know so many of us out there have already gotten far more than 5 different top 3 placements while playing Party Ops. Maybe it's 5 first place wins, which I know I've also achieved while playing BO6. It's unclear what happened to this, but maybe they'll end up adding it back in the future, or it ended up getting canceled altogether. Now, following Season 4 Reloaded, a brand new feature also got discovered, which I do believe is going to officially drop maybe before the start of August. Wouldn't be shocked if with some upcoming patch notes, it just kind of slipped this feature in, or it's something that is currently being worked on that isn't ready for release at all, and that is an audio visualizer, which I know games like Fortnite do have. I think other games out there have this as well. It doesn't look the prettiest. I'd be curious if you can actually modify some of the settings and appearances so that maybe it better matches some of your HUD presets, but this is a feature that can obviously help people that have impaired hearing or other disabilities, because this will probably be found under the accessibility tab in your settings. This is obviously not a feature for people out there that could already hear their game pretty well or have an expensive headset, but you know this could be a feature that does get abused by the wrong people, which is what I'm worried about. This could give an advantage to people that don't actually need this setting. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how this visualizer works, it does show you every single sound in the match that you're in and what direction those sounds are coming from, whether it's from your teammates, the enemies, or elements on the map, maybe a bomb on S&D. It tells you everything. Again, it doesn't look the prettiest. It's pretty bulky and invasive all over your screen. So I do wonder if we're going to see a modified version of this in a future update, or if there will be, like I said, an ability to tweak the appearance of it so maybe it doesn't look as overwhelming, which kind of just blocks your line of sight when you're trying to aim with a weapon anyway. Now, as we see fairly often in COD, sometimes things are introduced that aren't meant for everyone, but for a select group of players. So I think a lot of folks are taking this crash out a little bit too far over something that isn't even officially announced yet. But I do completely understand where folks are coming from when they do raise some concern that maybe some of the wrong sweats could end up utilizing this feature in ways they shouldn't, which could give them an unfair advantage over players that are just listening with their headsets. But I'll keep you guys in the loop whenever this feature does officially roll out, which I do suspect is going to be at some point in July. Now, I know this isn't a bundle-focused video. I only make like 1 or 2 of those per season anyway, depending on the community interest. But if you guys are wondering what was going on with that Seaborne bundle, which did get teased and officially marketed, I think back in, Season 3, that ended up getting pushed back for whatever reason and completely removed from the game. It's back, and it's going to be releasing at some point here in Season 4 with a bit of a different look. They've changed the appearance of the operator skin for whatever reason. He no longer has that hat on him. Not sure if it was a striking resemblance to a very iconic character from Pirates of the Caribbean. Who knows why they changed it, but the bundle overall is just about the same. It's unclear when this is coming out, but was leaked out as some Season 4 content. But as I always say, I know bundles aren't for everybody, but I do cover absolutely everything here on the channel, so there's of course something for everybody when you scroll through my videos. I also want to address the events this week, so it's unclear if we're seeing both King of the Dead and Masters of Grief, which are both leaderboard focused events, and exclusive to round-based and Grief specifically. Unfortunately, all the rewards for those events are just gobblegums, and I went over everything to do with those 2 events in a recent zombie video that I'll have linked down below. We do know King of the Dead does kick off this Thursday, which I'll be live streaming a playthrough of here on the channel. There's not much we can really do except farm up a bunch of kills to try to rack our way up on that leaderboard to get some Gobblegum rewards. Either way, there's been lots of questions, especially in my comments, asking about the COD Tunes Challenge event. This got leaked out following the launch of Season 4 Reloaded, and I believe is tied to the American Dad collaboration. Well, looks like the bundle dates for American Dad have already leaked out as July 17th and July 20th. So about a week and a half from this video going up, I do believe with the launch of the first American Dad bundle, we'll end up seeing the start of the COD Tunes Challenge event. COD Tunes is actually the third traditional challenge event that we've gotten for BO6. I know that's kind of ridiculous as MW3 had so many more, but with that challenge event, of course, will come objectives for MP, Warzone, and Zombies, while the Mastery unlock is going to be a beautiful animated camo. So there's still some spice left with the second half of Season 4. We have a cool event coming up, some awesome rewards like those animated camos, 2 if you own Black Cell, and I do believe maybe starting at the middle of next week or shortly after, they'll probably also start kicking off some marketing for DLC 4, the finale to Black Ops 6 Zombies, which as of now is going to release less than a month from now on August the 7th. I think for as big of a map as DLC 4 is probably going to be, they'll likely at least give us some type of extra marketing and maybe even more than we got for the previous round-based maps. Now before we continue, I want to let you know about today's sponsor, Aniba, an online marketplace that offers the best deals on digital gift cards, game codes, and even DLC. Users can also earn cashback on select purchases so that they can play more and spend less. If you want to check out Aniba, then click on the special link down below in this video's description or the pinned comment, and thank you to Aniba for sponsoring tonight's video. But now jumping into the latest patch notes which just released for Season 4 Reloaded, starting off with global issues inside of Black Ops 6. They first addressed the problem where unlock requirements were missing from some sprays, and addressed the problem where the incompatible attachments text would be displayed when editing the Olympia special weapon during a match. Speaking of the Olympia, it looks like the camos are still bugged. Maybe they fixed it for some people, but I'm noticing that folks out there are still able to progress some of the mastery camos without having done some of the military and gold challenges. But it looks like for equipment in multiplayer, they addressed the problem where the Commando default class would not have an extra lethal, and a problem with the RCXD where players would be revealed when using it. Also for party ops, they addressed the problem where zone markers would sometimes display incorrectly, and then overall just some stability fixes for the multiplayer experience. But now jumping into zombies, we first have a fix for grief where they addressed the problem where the objective marker was not displaying correctly when inside of a capture zone. Then for the abomination challenge, there were 2 cheese methods people were using to instantly defeat the abomination and would hopefully grant themselves with their rewards. We'll circle back to that as well, but the first cheese method, the Etherella trap, they've reduced the damage that Mo will take from that trap, and they also addressed the issue where Mo could sometimes take a large amount of damage when spawning near a player. That was the second cheese method that people have been using for the last week. But we also got a fix for the issue where when killing Mo with a trap, the player would not be awarded with the completion calling card or the hidden power gobblegum. So clearly that was tied to using a trap to get the finishing blow. Now you can kill him whichever way you want and should be awarded with all of the unlocks. Now over in Warzone, we got some much needed fixes. First off, in Havoc Royale, the Melon Heads modifier will no longer activate in Circle 4, Crouch Potato and Make It Rain modifiers will activate slightly more often, while the Charge Jump and ICU will activate slightly less often. Once again, better balancing that mode so that it's more replayable. They've now restricted portable redeploy drones in Ranked Resurgence, whereas when it comes to weaponry, some much needed nerfs were added into the game. I'm fully well aware the TR2 is probably the king right now as far as marksman rifles, but the DM10 finally got a nerf. That has been an absolute monster for the last week or so. They've now decreased the arms multiplier, lower torso and leg multipliers, and the bullet velocity, as well as the aim down sight speed. All those reductions have significantly impacted the DM10, but they've also adjusted the AMS, the GPR, the Kilo, and even the Krig, so you're now going to see a different meta for the second half of Season 4 of Warzone. We'll of course have an updated meta loadout article on detonated.com. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. What are your thoughts on the latest updates inside of Black Ops 6 and Season 4 Reloaded? How are you feeling about the patch notes, the audio visualizer, and the Party Ops LTM? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out everybody.